Welcome back to Confident Real Estate. I'm JC. On today's episode, we're going to take a look at the hotel and hospitality industries. If you haven't noticed, there's a global pandemic going on right now. Travel is really kind of down for most people. Not a lot of people taking those luxurious far-off vacations that they may have planned to take at the beginning of 2020. So, just how close to catastrophic failure is the hotel industry? We're going to take a look at the numbers and see how bad this free fall nosedive really is. We're also going to look at why it's the exact right time to invest in the hotel and hospitality industries. And if you wait around to the very end of this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how one major hedge fund investor is investing big in the hotel and travel industries right now. This is a guy who foresaw the subprime mortgage crisis and delivered phenomenal returns to his investors when everyone else in the entire world was seeing their investments disappear. He was so prolific during that period that a certain A-list actor portrayed him in a little movie called The Big Short. You may have heard of it. So stick around and let's get into it. It's hardly a secret that the travel and hotel industries have been, let's say, sluggish for the last 6, 7, coming on 8 months now during this coronavirus pandemic. Many states have had and continue to have serious restrictions on travel. On top of that, many families and households across the U.S., for either safety concerns or financial constraints or both of the above, have had to really cut back on their leisure travel or what their ideas of leisure travel would entail during 2020. This past summer season saw travel down significantly from where it was in 2019 just a year ago. And going into the holiday season, which is a huge travel season, doesn't seem like much of that is going to change either. Business travel has just been decimated because really, what company wants the added liability of risking the health and lives of their workers to go to a meeting? And remember, business conferences, those things that everybody used to gather in large groups for in Las Vegas and other parts of the country? Yeah, those are pretty much extinct at this point. 2020 will see the end of many of those companies. All of this means that hotels have had a drastic slash in revenue for more than half of a full calendar year. It's gotten so bad now that the hotel industry is petitioning lawmakers to jump in and help them. In a report sent to Congress at the end of August, the hotel industry estimated that 23.4% of hotel owners were 30 days or more delinquent on their mortgage payments. By contrast, at the end of 2019, the number of hotel owners that were 30 days or more delinquent on their mortgage payments was 1.3%. So we are now talking 1 in 4, 25%, almost 25% of all hotels in this country are now 30 days or more delinquent on mortgages. That is a crisis for the economy. The hotel industry is asking for financial assistance for all businesses that operate within the commercial real estate landscape. They're trying to pass a measure called the Helping Open Properties Endeavor Act, the HOPE Act for short. The HOPE Act would provide access to capital for those affected businesses so that they continue to keep up with their operating expenses. You have to remember, commercial real estate doesn't get the same benefits as homeowners do. There's no built-in mortgage forbearance or deferment options available like there are on most residential government-backed loans. In the commercial real estate landscape, if you need a forbearance or a deferment, you're going to have to work out a modification agreement with your lender, and only if they're actually willing to give it to you. Otherwise, you have to find a way to come up with the money that you owe them, or you risk going into foreclosure. So how badly are investors going to get hurt? Well, if you've got your money tied up in physical hotel properties, or you're heavily invested in real estate investment trusts that primarily invest in the hotel and hospitality industry, you should brace yourself for some serious losses, unless by some chance the federal government does actually step in. And if you are one of those investors who finds himself in this precarious position, and you're also one of those people who refuses to wear a mask, maybe I'll be the first person to tell you, you're a f***ing moron and an idiot who's literally costing yourself money and also putting everyone you know at risk. And if you agree with that statement, feel free to hit the like button down below. I also hear that helps with the YouTube algorithm, so I appreciate that too. Wear a mask, idiots. The bottom line is this. While hotel and travel industries are going to remain sluggish for the foreseeable future as the pandemic continues, once the pandemic is finally over, there is going to be a revenue surge like those industries have never experienced ever in history. That said, how quickly that surge picks up steam is really going to depend on a couple of things. How much the American public has in excess money to afford leisure travel, and what their trust is in the industry to keep them safe and protected when they go and seek leisure travel. It's also going to be a question of how businesses restructure themselves for business travel post-pandemic, because right now a lot of businesses have switched to a lot more remote working than they ever foresaw themselves doing, but it's working for many industries. So that may be the way of the future, where people no longer travel or commute like they used to. The other side of it is whether or not the hotel industry can get some kind of federal help package, and how many of them will survive in the interim until this pandemic is actually over. That being said, if you need extra income or you're looking for ways to seize on the market opportunities that are available right now, if you have excess space, say you're a real estate investor who already owns a property that has some vacancies, or you're looking to invest in real estate and you're not sure what kind of model you're going to look for because right now a lot of people aren't moving unless they absolutely have to, then Airbnb may be a phenomenal option for you. If you are able to provide the client customer service and the assurances that everything has been disinfected and that everything is clean, people who want to travel or need to travel are not going to be staying in large hotels. For the most part, there is just a lack of trust factor when it comes to major hotel chains. People do not want to be in large spaces surrounded by a lot of other people who are coming and going out of the same entrances and exits that they are. And they don't want to be locked in a room that's one big room and that's it. People want to go out. People want to experience space. They don't want to be locked up anymore. So for people who haven't seen their family for many months and now with the holidays coming up, or people who may have a relative that's feeling down and depressed or in isolation that they want to go and take care of and that they're not able to stay with, Airbnb is going to be literally their only option in some cases. So it is a phenomenal way for you to make some extra money right now, especially if you've lost your job and you have space in your house. Just remember that travelers who are going out to seek an Airbnb stay want to hold somebody accountable. They want to know that you are really serious and aware and engaged in making sure they stay safe while they stay at your property. They also typically go to an Airbnb because they're going to get better bang for the buck, more space for perhaps the same or slightly less than they would pay at a hotel. And these are unprecedented times, and a lot of the typical rules are going out the window based on where your property is, where you live, where people are traveling to. So just be aware of it. You're going to have to provide excellent customer service and assurances. But if you can do it, you will have a cash flow stream because people want to feel safe. Now, if you're not looking to invest in a physical property, but you're looking to invest more in the hotel industry itself and the travel industry as well, then perhaps you want to go the stock route. It may be hard to select which publicly traded hotel chain you want to invest in or which airline you want to invest in. I personally believe in investing in the industries that support the hotel and travel industry. And an excellent example of that is Booking Holdings, Inc. Have you ever heard of it? Maybe you've heard of Booking.com, Priceline.com, Kayak.com, Agoda.com, Cheap Flights, rentalcars.com, or even OpenTable. Remember when we used to all go out and dine inside a restaurant on a Friday or a Saturday night? It was simpler times. Took that for granted, didn't we? Every single one of those websites and companies I just mentioned is owned by Booking Holdings, Inc. So you can invest in all of them by investing in just one company. In 2019, consumers booked over 845 million nights of accommodation, over 77 million days of rental car use, and over 7 million airline tickets through companies owned by Booking Holdings. That brought in $5 billion in net profit on $15 billion in revenue for the 2019 fiscal year. You want to bet that 2020 is going to be significantly down? Even with the revenue considerably down this year, their stock is still somewhat expensive. It's still trading currently at about $1,770 or so per share, which is far less than the over $2,000 per share that it was trading at before the pandemic occurred. But it's also much more than it was trading at back in March when the pandemic really first touched down on American soil and the stock dropped all the way to around $1,100 a share. Michael Burry, you may not know his name, but Christian Bale played him in the movie The Big Short. He was the guy that identified the subprime mortgage crisis before pretty much the rest of the entire world and returned almost a 490% return to his investors, even though they fought him the entire time and thought he was crazy. He's now running a new fund, and according to his SEC filings that he has to file, he is investing big in Booking Holdings. He has sunk millions into call options on Booking Holdings stock. So if that doesn't tell you the kind of minds that think a rebound is absolutely coming and it is time to seize on that opportunity now, I really don't know what will. Don't listen to me. Listen to the geniuses who have already proven that they understand how the markets work and can find the opportunities where nobody else is looking. I mean, it should be common sense that the travel industry will see a rebound when the pandemic is over. People will begin to travel again and occupy hotels like they did in the pre-pandemic days. Just right now, the industry is down significantly, and that is why it is so primed for investment now. You make your money in investments when you buy. If you buy at the right price and you do the right deal at the right time, on day one, you've made your money. And you'll see that money when you sell. You buy and you make real wealth, not when everything is great and everybody's making money. You make the real wealth and money when you buy into distressed opportunities and you ride the rebound wave back to stability. And that's why this is such an important time to be an investor. The opportunities are everywhere. So if there are other industries that you can think of or have seen that are poised for a post-pandemic rebound and a bounce back, leave us a comment down below. Share with the rest of us. I'd certainly like to know about it, and I'm sure some of the other viewers would as well. As always, hit like, hit subscribe. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.